English language learners. Welcome to Learn English with Dr. DK from America. So let's see how many of you are here today. So Arun Kumar Singh is waiting. Okay, so we can wait for a few minutes. And if you are here, just say hello or hi. Okay, Roshan Kumar Jha, good morning, Roshan. Now you guys know that it's my morning. Okay, yes, I still have 28 minutes to be like 12 p.m. So it's 11:32 right now. Vishal, hello Vishal. Roop Ranjan, good morning. So happy Rakhi to everyone. I know many of you celebrate Raksha Bandhan, right? Nice to see you too, Vishal. So I'm sure that you all are learning a lot about the new education policy, right? Gathering all the information, right? Not storing the information, because we store the information in the computer, right? Or we store the information on some kind of like technology, but in our brain, like, yes, we store the information in our brain, but we collect the information or we gather the information, right? Okay, Ashwini, yes, hello Ashwini. Wow, Hussein Zaidi, good to see you after a long time, right? So Hussein was actually, I think, in my first or second speaking session. And I didn't even remember when I started speaking session. I think I started speaking session in April, as far I remember. And Shruti, good morning, Shruti. Okay, good to see you guys. There are many students are participating, and I love to interact, right? Sometimes I say like, okay, I'm going to record the lessons, and I was like, you know what? I want to ask the questions. I want to have a discussion where we can share the information and share our viewpoint also, right? Manish, good evening. So my today's session is, we're just gonna have a general conversation. Oh, you are Utsav. Okay. Aryan Biswas is Utsav. Okay. Yes, that's pretty interesting, because many of you have different names. Sometimes the name seems to be like a boy's name, and then it's going to come up like another name. No, I am a girl, or yes, that's fine. I mean, okay. Manish Verma. Okay. So I actually, in my comment section, I had a couple of questions, and then we're going to just talk more about we will talk about more about the policy, or if you have any question you want to ask me about anything in American education at school level or at college level, and I will try to answer you with the best of my knowledge. And the other thing is, if I am not sure about something, I always say I am not sure about it, and I will bring this information to you. Okay, so I don't like to answer on the spot and give you wrong information, because we all don't know everything, but we learn and we acquire the knowledge, right? So that's the way I work. Good evening. Exam is conducted, yes. And another thing is, actually, when I came to America and I started teaching, and that's what I learned here, the teacher, if they don't know the answer, they will never give the wrong answer. They will always say, no, I don't know, I'm not sure about it. Okay, let me find this information for you. And it was like a little bit of something new for me, because in India, that's the way it is. Like the student, they think that the teacher If someone is a teacher, they should know everything. And the teachers, they think like we do not want to show our students that we don't know everything. So that's why sometimes they just give the wrong information, and that doesn't work here. It's not like that. If you don't know, you don't know. So if you are sure about it, then you say, yes, I'm sure about it. This is the information. If you're not sure, you just say it. Doesn't matter if you are a teacher in school or in a college or in university level or in any level. People never give you a wrong information and will say, oh, no, yes, this is right. Not like that. Okay. Good evening. So my questions, I want to read one question. This question is from one of my students, a subscriber. He says, as far I know, oh, okay, this one is like, this topic is very vast and huge, and it will take huge time to explore more about it. And he said, I request you to make more discussion on this topic. That's what we are doing. We will have a lot of discussion. And moreover, I will say, I was watching some of the critics videos also online yesterday, and that criticism was not from just from a general public. It was from a political party. But believe me, the reason the criticism they had was very strong, and there were so many things where I was also agree with it, because whenever we set any plan, we have to work towards it, how we will be implementing. And that's what they were saying, that how they're going to implement it, that is missing. It's a lot of information, is not clear. And even those they are creating it, they also do not have that written agenda somewhere where they're going to say, okay, this is the way we're going to implement, and these are the sources from where we're going to get the money to use it, right? So I agree with that. Even before yesterday, when I watched that video, and I was like, yes, I agree with so many points. And believe me, I don't belong to any party in India. First of all, I don't even live there, and I don't have any favorites. So I just go with, as a teacher, I'm just talking about from my point of view as an educationist, that yes, when you apply something, then it's a different situation, and then you see all the lacks or the holes in the program. But I hope everything will come out very strongly and very positively. But there are many positive and there are very, I will say, many good points where I completely agree that that should be the way they have in the plan. Yes, I completely agree with that. And in this session, I will speak in Hindi also and in English. मिक्स सा होगा, क्योंकि बहुत बार होता है मेरा कि कई बार मैं जब सेशन में मुझे पता चलता है कि काफ़ी स्टूडेंट्स को कई बार मेरी हर बात समझ नहीं आती, इसलिए। और दूसरी चीज़ ये है कि जो हिंदी लैंग्वेज है, तो वो मेरे पास एक स्ट्रेंथ है जो मैं यूज़ कर सकती हूँ। तो मुझे है कि नहीं, मुझे जैसे कह लो बायोलैंग्वेज में ही बात करनी है ताकि हर एक को समझ आ सके। सो उसमें मैं यही बता रही हूँ आपको कि मैंने कल कोई वीडियो देखा था, तो वो इट वाज political criticism, but that was very strong criticism. That's what I'm saying. That was not just for the political reason. It was not for the political reason, because they had a very solid points in the discussion that what's missing in it. And I was actually thinking about that too, because in our district, for example, you know, I work in a district and we have about I will say about more than 70 educational institute in the district. First of all, in America, the most common education system is the public schooling, right? The public institutions are here, the students and the private institutions like private schools, for example, are very few. Like if I count in my city, I think there is only one private school, and that's a very small private school, and that's like a, in other words, I will say that school is related to one religion also. So that's the way we have some of the schools here. They are related with some one particular रिलीजन. तो वहाँ पे जैसे कह लो थोड़ी बहुत उनको वो रिलीजियस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी एजुकेशन होती है, एंड देन दोज आर द प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूट्स. अदरवाइज यहाँ पे प्राइवेट स्कूल्स नहीं हैं अमेरिका में. अमेरिका में जो पब्लिक स्कूल्स हैं वो गवर्नमेंट के स्कूल्स हैं. सो जो पब्लिक स्कूल्स अमेरिका में हैं वो गवर्नमेंट के स्कूल्स हैं, और उनकी जो फैसिलिटीज हैं और वहाँ पे जितने भी प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं वो बहुत ही हाई लेवल के होते हैं. सो इसीलिए सारे ही स्टूडेंट्स, अब जैसे मेरे अपने बच्चे हैं वो उन्होंने भी पब्लिक स्कूल से ही एजुकेशन ली है, और अमेरिका में आई विल से 99% जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो पब्लिक स्कूल से ही एजुकेशन उनकी होती है, मे बी मोर देन 99% आई विल से. सो दैट्स द डिफरेंस हियर, क्योंकि ये सारे प्राइवेट एजुकेशन नहीं है जिसमें कि किसी का पर्सनल प्रॉफिट का कोई इंटरेस्ट यहाँ पे नहीं है एजुकेशन में. तो नाउ जो उस ये तो है कि अभी हमें बहुत इसके बारे में जानना है. यस, दैट्स देयर. एंड देन आई हैड one student, I want to read it, his comment. He said, hi Albert. Yes. Okay, so I want to, he said, it's his reading. I'm just reading. I didn't edit anything. I'm just reading 100% whatever they wrote me. And the one student said, I want to ask one thing, that if the English language we are learning, if it's not used in our daily life, then there will no benefit to learning it. Like, you know, not every Indian lives abroad. So what is your priority for them? You can see your rural area and city area, most of people speaking local and state languages. So इस स्टूडेंट का जो पॉइंट है वो है कि इंग्लिश क्यों कंपलसरी है इंडिया में, क्यों कंपलसरी है इंडिया में, लोगों को क्यों इंग्लिश पढ़नी पड़ती है, जबकि बहुत सारे जो लोग हैं वो तो कहीं जाते ही नहीं हैं. दे जस्ट लिव इन दैट सेम रूरल एरिया और इन द सेम स्टेट, एंड दे इवन देन दे हैव, एंड मोर ओवर दे स्पीक देयर रीजनल लैंग्वेज, राइट? देन व्हाई दे हैव टू लर्न इंग्लिश? दैट्स द क्वेश्चन. व्हाई? सो आई मीन, I can understand. First of all, इंडिया में एक चीज है कि अब मैं एक चीज बताती हूँ आपको, जैसे कि अफ्रीका है. अब क्योंकि मेरे पास बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स अफ्रीका से भी आते हैं, तो उनकी कई बार क्या होता है कि ट्राइबल लैंग्वेजेस होती हैं उनके पास, उनकी, और जैसे बहुत सारी ट्राइबल लैंग्वेजेस हैं जिनके अलग से ही नाम है, और वो ट्राइबल लैंग्वेज क्या है कि एक छोटे से एरिया की होती है उनकी अपनी लैंग्वेज, बट उनकी एक ही लैंग्वेज है जो उनकी एकेडमिक स्कूल की लैंग्वेज है. जैसे वो ज्यादातर वहां पे फ्रेंच चलती है ज्यादातर. तो क्योंकि जो ट्राइबल लैंग्वेज है दैट्स नॉट रिटन लैंग्वेज, उसमें कोई अल्फाबेट नहीं है, उसके कोई उसकी लिखने में वो लैंग्वेज नहीं है, वो सिर्फ बोलने में है वो लैंग्वेज. तो उनकी एक स्टैंडर्ड जो एजुकेशनल जो एकेडमिक लैंग्वेज है वो तकरीबन एक है. उसके अलावा इंग्लिश एज अ फॉरेन लैंग्वेज है उनकी. तो वहां पे वो चीज अप्लाई हो जाती है इवन देन, लाइक उनकी इतनी सारी ट्राइबल लैंग्वेज होने के बावजूद. बट इंडिया में ये है कि इंडिया में जितनी भी लैंग्वेजेस हैं हमारे, ज्यादातर जो 21 और 22 लैंग्वेजेस हैं, यू माइट नो मोर देन मी. सो वो जितनी भी तकरीबन लैंग्वेजेस हैं उनमें रिटन लैंग्वेज भी है वो, राइट? अब आप जैसे तमिल ले लो या बंगाली ले लो, और पंजाबी है जैसे, और बहुत सारी हैं लैंग्वेजेस. तो वो कन्नड़ है, राइट? और भी होंगे बहुत सारे नाम. तो वो रिटन भी हैं. तो उसमें प्रॉब्लम है क्योंकि जो वहाँ के लोग हैं, उस रीजन के लोग हैं, वो उस लैंग्वेज में भी हैं, राइट? लिखते भी हैं. और बोलते भी हैं, 22 लैंग्वेजेस, राइट। सो वो हर लैंग्वेज में लिखते हैं और पढ़ते हैं, तो बोलते भी हैं। तो दे वांट दैट लैंग्वेज टू बी देयर एकेडमिक लैंग्वेज, एंड I mean, I agree with that. They should have it. And moreover, you are more strong in your first language. There is no doubt about it. Okay, चाहे आपकी कोई भी लैंग्वेज है, चाहे आप जितने मर्जी सेकंड लैंग्वेज में फ्लुएंट हो जाओ, फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक पंजाबी इज माय फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज, राइट। मे बी आई एम नॉट लाइक, आई डोंट नो वेरी डीप पंजाबी, जैसे कि बहुत सारे हायर लेवल की जो पंजाबी है वो मुझे नहीं आती, बट स्टिल आई विल से समटाइम आई थिंक इन पंजाबी, राइट। ज्यादातर नहीं होता मेरे साथ, बट मेरा केस जो है वो थोड़ा डिफरेंट है, बिकॉज आई एम लिविंग इन अमेरिका फ्रॉम मोर देन 2 decades, राइट, एंड देन माय चिल्ड्रन दे स्पीक इंग्लिश, सो माय होम एटमॉस्फेयर इज वेरी डिफरेंट। बट अगर आप कहीं और जैसे इंडिया में ही हो आप, तो आप जिस लैंग्वेज जो आपकी फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज है, यू आर मोर स्ट्रांग इन दैट लैंग्वेज, राइट। तो यू वांट टू लर्न academics in your first language, and I agree with you. I don't blame you. But I think even in our session, my Zoom session, that's what we were talking about, that even here in America, we have a state like Texas, for example. There is one state that's very close to Mexico. And Texas was actually a part of Mexico in many, many years ago. But then it became the part of America. तो वहां पे बहुत ज्यादा जो स्पेनिश है डोमिनेटिंग है बहुत सारे एरियाज में, तो दैट्स व्हाट इट इज। वहां पे जो स्कूल्स हैं उनमें बायोलैंग्वेलिज्म है, तो जो वो कंटेंट्स जो प्राइमरी ग्रेड्स में उनके जो कंटेंट्स होते हैं, दे टीच देम इन बोथ लैंग्वेजेस। उसमें एमर्जिंग होती है उनकी, जैसे उन्होंने स्पेनिश में भी सीखेंगे वो और इंग्लिश में भी सीखेंगे वो, उसमें जैसे कह लो एक तरह ट्रांसलेशन पार्ट काफी आ जाता है, बायोलैंग्वेलिज्म है वो उन स्कूल्स में। तो वो ग्रेजुअली उनका है कि जैसे जैसे स्टूडेंट ग्रो करते हैं, हायर लेवल पे जाते हैं, तो उनकी जो स्पेनिश है वो डिक्रीज करते जाते हैं और इंग्लिश को इंक्रीज करते जाते हैं। तो वो बट बिकॉज देयर फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज इज स्पेनिश, they speak Spanish at home, right? So Spanish dominates their English. So that's why they learn the contents in both languages. So then gradually Spanish becomes their foreign language, but not for them, but here, जैसे middle school में यहाँ पे we have foreign languages. Like English, of course, is a first language. So all academics are in English, but from 6th grade, they learn Spanish, or in different institutions, or they have different foreign languages, but they learn it as a foreign language. So same thing is if, but India में बहुत सारे और रीजंस भी हैं कि इंग्लिश शुरू से ही डोमिनेटिंग रही है इंडिया में, एंड यू ऑल नो दैट, जैसे कि इंडिया वाज लाइक यू नो अंडर ब्रिटिश रूल, तो वो रहा है इन्फ्लुएंस इंडिया में इंग्लिश का, और इंग्लिश इंडिया में एक स्टेटस का वो जैसे कह लो वो है कि अगर आपको इंग्लिश आती है तो ये सिर्फ क्या है, ये किसी ने नहीं क्रिएट किया, ये सोसाइटी ने ही क्रिएट किया है उस तरह से, राइट, कि अगर आपको इंग्लिश नहीं आती तो वो लोग आपको बड़ा डिफरेंटली ट्रीट करते हैं, थोड़ा देखते इस तरह से हैं जैसे कि यू आर नॉट स्मार्ट इनफ, राइट, बट दैट्स रॉन्ग, दैट्स अ रॉन्ग अप्रोच, बिकॉज जो थिंकिंग है, या जो बहुत सारे लोग मैंने अपनी लाइफ में देखे हैं जिनको इंग्लिश नहीं आती, सिर्फ अपनी लैंग्वेज आती है, एंड दे आर वेरी इंटेलिजेंट, राइट, दे आर वेरी स्मार्ट, ये नहीं है, ये एक आई विल से ये एक गलत नजरिया है देखने का, तो ये सोसाइटी का फॉल्ट है, राइट, तो उसको तो आप लोग दूर कर सकते हो। बट रही बात कि इंग्लिश क्यों सीखनी है, देखो, आई थिंक इट शुड बी योर पर्सनल चॉइस। इफ यू वांट टू think, if you think that you will be staying in the same area, you are not going out, you do not want to be on the higher positions, because if you see that English is everywhere, English is like, for example, I know about Punjab, for example, Punjabi, wahan pe जो ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज है वो पंजाबी है, तो ऑफिस के जो काम हैं वो पंजाबी में भी होते हैं और उसके अलावा इंग्लिश में भी हैं। तो दैट मीन्स के दोनों लैंग्वेजेस चलती हैं। तो सेम थिंग आई थिंक बहुत सारी इंडिया के स्टेट्स हैं वहाँ पे यही है कि इंग्लिश भी है और रीजनल लैंग्वेज भी है। तो इंग्लिश को मेरे को लगता है कि इंडिया में इंग्लिश को नहीं छोड़ा जा सकता, चाहे आप इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे डील करना चाहते हैं, कोई इंटरनेशनल जॉब करना चाहते हैं किसी कंपनी में, या इफ यू वांट टू सेटल डाउन इन फॉरेन कंट्री, even if you do not want to be in that situation or you do not want to be in that situation, even then I think जो कल्चर में ही है कि इंग्लिश इज इम्पॉर्टेंट इन इंडिया, एंड आई डोंट थिंक सो इट विल गो अवे. And moreover, now, especially in these days when the whole world is like a one village, it will not go away. And I know I have, like, you all know that I teach students and my students are from every corner in this world. And I get students from Arabic countries or from African countries or from European countries or from all Korea or Vietnam, everywhere, right? China, all places. And when they enter in school, most of the students, they know some English, maybe academic English, maybe they are not able to speak in English, but they know some English. And some of them are very strong, and if they are very strong, they say that they were in private schools. So, and moreover, I will say I can see their parents are like a doctors or some kind of like engineers, or those students, even in those countries, they come with the pretty strong English skills. So ये तकरीबन हर कंट्री में है, इंग्लिश का एक लेवल है, और जो इंग्लिश के इंस्टीट्यूट हैं, जैसे कह लो स्कूल्स भी होंगे जहाँ पे इंग्लिश है वहाँ पे सब्जेक्ट, तो वो काफ़ी एक्सपेंसिव स्कूल्स होते हैं. ये सारे कंट्रीज में है जहाँ पे इंग्लिश इज नॉट अ फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज. इट्स नॉट ओनली इन इंडिया. सो दैट्स व्हाट इट इज. इंग्लिश बाकी ये है कि इफ यू डोंट वांट टू लर्न, देन don't learn. And if you think you just own, like maybe you have a shop or you're working on somewhere in a local business and you are not going anywhere, you are not going to be exposed to any other person from any other state, so it's your choice. No one is forcing you to learn English. But if you want to be on any higher position, I will say, I don't know, then you need English, right? English is kind of like a title also, that you're good in English. And I don't know if this is going to go away. But my concern is, and it was my concern before too when I was in India, that when you have your academics in your regional language, for example, Hindi mein hai ya Bengali hai ya Kannada hai ya any other language, and you are in those schools, right? Your medium is Hindi or your medium is Punjabi, and when you're competing at the college level, or I think that's what they're saying, you're going to have a CAT exam. Like here we have SAT, but because English is the first language and everyone is pretty much on the same level for SAT exam. But my concern is for the CAT exam. If CAT is in English, right? And if the one student, same thing, it's right now you have the same thing. If your academics in school were in English and you want to appear for CAT, and if CAT's medium is English, here, if CAT will be in English, जो उसकी language है वो English में होगी, जो exam है वो English में है, तो again it's gonna be, the gap will be there, right? लैंग्वेज गैप तो नहीं निकलेगा ना किसी भी तरह से. या तो हो कि हाँ, अगर कैट आपका है तो कैट आप अपनी रीजनल लैंग्वेज में भी ले सकते हो कैट, तो देन इट्स अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. But if you have your academics in school in your regional language, and then you are appearing for the same test, national level exams, CAT, I think it's a CAT, that's what I read somewhere, कि उसका नाम होगा CAT. तो उसमें तो फिर वो ही आएगा ना लैंग्वेज का डिफरेंस. अगर आपकी रीजनल लैंग्वेज में वो टेस्ट होगा तो देन इट्स completely different. Then it will be an equal assessment, I will say. But if that test is in English and you are learning your academic in your regional language, and then you will be appearing in that test, then it's not the equal, I will say, assessment. Okay. Now, the next one was question from one of my students. He said, "Ma'am, I can't say anything about new education policy, but I have so many information getting from YouTube link that I wanted to discuss about multi-entry and multi-exit and students report card, academic of credit, and new format 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, and coding, exam pattern, internship, but I couldn't say anything. That's why I'm feeling very guilty and I shamed on me. So please, ma'am, remove my hesitation, please." And this, my student was actually in my session, and I will say that please do not be scared. And that's why I have these speaking sessions, and you all are welcome. And as you know, I offer these sessions every Saturday, and I send the invitation to everyone. Most of the time, we have 19 or 20 students in the session, and I know this student particularly is in my many sessions, but likes to listen, but to try to speak, but again, scared. And I will say this, whatever the fear is inside, right? It's not outside. You are scared because it's in your brain, right? No, and moreover, in my sessions, I always say we are not judging you. No one is judging you in my speaking sessions, because those sessions are for English practice. So that's the reason I am offering you those sessions without any charge, as you know, 100% free sessions. And it's like I want to help students, because many of you, if you are not able to pay, and you just want to avail this opportunity, and then it's right here for you. And I will say, and moreover, this is a very common problem, where you are scared and you feel guilty, or you feel inferior, that you are not able to speak in English. And I always say that if you want to improve your English skills, you need to read the information in small chunks. Do not gather all the information and then try to speak, because then you will forget a lot of information. So I will say, whatever you are reading, first of all, try, if you're, see, again, you have to move in steps. So in the beginning, when you are learning to speak, I will say try to speak simple English. Do not try to add very complicated vocabulary words in your speaking also. Because I have seen this. Sometimes students, they try to add a very complicated, higher level vocabulary word, but they are not using those words properly. That means they are not using it in the context wise. Sometimes the word doesn't make any sense in the context when they are using. And that's the reason I like to teach you vocabulary in context, because sometimes when you are using it in the context, then you understand how it's making sense right here, right? And especially, I know you learn synonyms, for example, in India, and you learn, okay, this word and this word has these synonyms. But see, you cannot use the synonyms with the same word, because synonyms can have a different meaning. Synonym does not mean that it's the same word. It's not a same word. Synonym can be same or very close meaning. So when you are saying close, that doesn't mean that you can use the synonym in any situation, okay, for that particular word. So That's why when you learn the vocabulary, you need to learn the vocabulary in a, I will say, in context. Okay. Now, for example, beautiful or gorgeous, right? Yes, they are synonyms, right? Beautiful or gorgeous, or just say, they could just say handsome है. We cannot say she is very handsome, right? We're talking about a girl, and handsome is always for males, right? So, or बहुत सारे words हैं. अब जैसे I will bring some lessons where I'm gonna show you, because we have that particular objective in our grades, and I know that's the way I hope the government will try to teach you in the new curriculum, where it will not be focused on the books like the way you have right now. You have a 10th grade English book or 10th grade science book or something like that. Maybe it's going to be like that in India, but here we teach curriculum. We do not teach books. So curriculum means the objectives. What the first grade students will be learning in science class, or what the second, like in science class or in social study class, or in, I will say, English. Like we don't say English here in school, especially in up to middle school, 8th grade. We say language arts, not an English class, because language works like an art. Okay, it's then when you go to high school, then you have English in many different parts. Then English like literature, or English grammar class, or there are so many different in English composition class, or English writing 1, writing 2, composition 1, composition 2. There are so many different names in even in English class. Uh, so every year, for example, you will have, like even for example in math, you have in a pre-algebra, then algebra, the algebra 1, then algebra 2, then you have a geometry, then trigonometry, then calculus 1, calculus 2. That's the way these subjects work here in America. Same thing is, for example, science. So up to 5th grade, it's like just a science. Just they say science. But then in 6th grade, they teach earth science. Then in 7th grade, they teach life science. Then in 8th grade, they teach physical science. So earth science is chemistry, but it's not 100% chemistry. But there are so many geography lessons also in it, where they learn about solar system, and they learn about moon eclipses, and they learn about rocks and all kind of stuff, right? And then 7th grade is life science, where it's all science in about life, like you call it bio. But in here, middle school, they don't say biology, like for example, it's a life science. Then in 8th grade is a physical science, and then they test them in 8th grade. They don't test them for science. The board exams in the state exams. So they have state exam in 8th grade for science. So they don't have any science exam, board exam in 6th grade or 7th grade. So in 8th grade, they test their 6th grade earth science, 7th grade life science, and 8th grade physical science in 8th grade. So 3 years assessment is in 8th grade. But then when they go to high school, then they have like a bio. You say biology, right? Biology, chemistry, physics. But they don't read all those subjects in 1 year. So, for example, in ninth grade, you might gonna learn bio, and then you can have any other subject with that, maybe economics, not economics. I heard some students are saying economic. It's not economics, and then economics, or then sociology. I heard in my session the pronunciation was not correct. It's a sociology, okay, sociology, and then it's a psychology, not psychology, psychology. Okay, so these subjects they have in every grade you can have subjects, and then same thing is in English, like for English 1 or English 2, English like that, composition. That way the subjects work here. It's and I hope pretty much it's gonna be like that, the way I am reading it. And then they have all the vocational, and then they have it in humanities, right? They have a music, art, computer lab, the coding, everything, yes, starts from the middle school, and then the career education. And then in high school, there are so many courses which, whatever you want to pursue. For example, here, for beauty for women, for like girls, they have many. And then the driving education. They teach you driving also in school. They offer you the driving. It will be in what you say theory first of all, and then practical. So you learn, take many courses there, and by the time you are out of high school, you pretty much know how to drive. You just need to take maybe a couple of practice activities, and then you can go and get your license, right? So that's the way it works. They prepare you. And then I remember when my children, especially my son, I can say, when he was in middle school, he used to sew, like जिसको क्या कहते हैं, सीना, सुई धागे के साथ कहीं कुछ सिलता था वो, कपड़े भी सिलते थे वो लोग, कुछ बनाते थे. And then he made a one beautiful box for me because he did everything in school. And in high school, he made a very beautiful basket with the thread की basket बनानी सिखाई थी उनको. So they teach you so many skills. Carpentry, yes, even middle school में they teach you all these skills. So they have, even in middle school, we have in middle school, we offer these courses like a session, like a 1 quarter you can have a what you say art, and another quarter you can have what you say a cooking class, or the other one you can have a sewing class. Sewing means sina parona, yes, sewing class. So that's the way it works. So they sometimes they cook and they bring for us, for the teachers. We want to try this. Like it, that's the way. It's like learning is everything. It's not just subject. But here, yes, we have state exams here in math and in English. And in elementary level, we have math exams in math, English, and in social study, and in science, and in writing, 5th grade in writing. But now they removed it, and now we have a writing state exam in 8th grade, and science in 8th grade, and then a social study in 8th grade. But in 6th grade, 7th grade, only English and math. And then in high school, then they have like a math, English, and science. So they don't have a board exam or state exam for every subject. No. And then I was reading about the report cards, for example. Yes, we also do. And another thing, in America, we don't have a failing method. We don't fail our students. So if, for example, if the student is not doing good for all year, then we meet with the parents. The board exam has nothing to do with your moving to the next level. So हिंदी में बताऊं कि अगर आप बोर्ड में जो एग्जाम आपके स्टेट के एग्जाम है, अगर आप उनमें फेल भी हो जाते हो, तो भी आप अगली क्लास में जाते हो. आपको रोकते नहीं हैं किसी क्लास में. ये नहीं है कि आप अगर 7th ग्रेड में बोर्ड में फेल हो गए तो आप 7th ग्रेड में ही रहोगे. नहीं, आप 8th ग्रेड में जाओगे अगले साल के लिए. ओके. सो उसमें क्या है कि अगर स्टूडेंट बहुत लो है स्कूल में, एकेडमिक्स में, हर क्वार्टर में वो फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट में भी लो है, समेटिव में भी लो है, बहुत ही लो है, देन वी मीट, लाइक पूरे जो उसके सारे कंटेंट एरिया के टीचर्स होते हैं, हमारी मीटिंग्स होती रहती हैं, तो उसमें हम डिस्कस करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स को कि ओके वो स्टूडेंट कैसा है, एकेडमिकली कैसा है, बिहेवियर कैसा है उसका, बाकी स्टूडेंट्स के साथ कैसा बिहेवियर है, टीचर्स के साथ कैसा बिहेवियर है, वो सारी ही चीज़ें ऐड होती हैं उसमें. उसका बिहेवियर ऐड होता है टीचर्स के साथ, स्टूडेंट्स के साथ, उसकी क्लास की पार्टिसिपेशन कैसी है, उसके एकेडमिक स्किल्स कैसे हैं. अगर वो सारे में ही नेगेटिव 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 और बोर्ड के एग्जाम तो भी नेगेटिव हैं, अगर सारा कुछ ही नेगेटिव है, then we meet with the parents and then we discuss with parents, okay, this is the situation. If you agree, then if we think, especially then if we think that retaining will help this particular student, then we suggest the parents, okay, I think if we can retain the student, that might be helpful, right? And then if parents say, yes, you can retain this student, you can retain my son or daughter in the same grade for next year, then we do that, but with parents' permission. If parents says, no, we do not want my son or daughter to be retained in, retain कहते हैं हम इसको, फेल नहीं कहते, रिटेन कहते हैं कि रिटेन करके रखें इसको इस साल, तो then we can retain the student. Otherwise, the student will go to the next grade. Okay, so इस तरह से यहाँ पे वर्क होता है. जो स्टेट के एग्जाम्स हैं वो आपकी एक तरह से कह लो कि अचीवमेंट देखते हैं कि आप कहाँ पे हो, राइट? अदरवाइज स्टेट एग्जाम्स इफेक्ट नहीं करते आपको उस ग्रेड से आगे जाने में. तो आप हर ग्रेड में आगे जाते हो, हर साल फेल नहीं होते. बॉटम लाइन इज कि फेल नहीं होते आप. अमेरिका में फेलिंग का सिस्टम नहीं है, फेल करने का सिस्टम नहीं है यहाँ पे. और एक चीज़ और है कि हम स्टूडेंट्स के जो स्कोर्स होते हैं वो डिस्कस नहीं करते. अब जैसे एक स्टूडेंट के स्कोर्स हैं तो वो दूसरे स्टूडेंट अपने आप किसी को बता दे कि मेरे इतने स्कोर्स हैं इस चीज़ में, वो अलग है, बट हम नहीं बता सकते कि किसी स्टूडेंट के कितने स्कोर्स हैं. ऐसे इंडिया में आई डोंट नो इफ इट्स लाइक दैट कि सारी क्लास को पता चल जाता है कि इसके कितने मार्क्स आए, इसके कितने. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट इन अमेरिका. वी लाइक बाय लॉ जो हमारा यहाँ पे है कि टीचर्स आर नॉट अलाउड टू रिलीज द स्कोर्स टू एनी अदर स्टूडेंट. तो अगर जिसके स्कोर्स हैं वो उसी को ही हम चुपचाप बताएंगे कि तेरे इतने स्कोर्स हैं. या रिपोर्ट कार्ड है तो वो सील्ड है, वो अपने आप खोले बताए किसी को, दैट्स देयर लाइक इट्स देयर चॉइस. ओके, सो मैं तो अमेरिका के एजुकेशन बता रही हूँ कि दिस इज द वे इट वर्क्स. उसमें क्या है कि स्टूडेंट की को कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं होते. अगर कोई अपनी मर्जी से नहीं भी पढ़ रहा तो कम से कम चाहे वो अपने आप बता दे, दैट्स डिफरेंट स्टोरी. ओके, और कौन सा क्वेश्चन था? बाकी अगेन जो स्पीकिंग की प्रैक्टिस है, इट्स ओके, लर्न इन चंक्स. हर पैराग्राफ में किसी में व्हाट हैपेंड, 5 W's एंड 1 H अगर आप यूज करते हो तो उसको दिमाग में रख के आप अपनी स्पीकिंग की प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं. एंड आई already showed you many examples in many lessons how you can practice the speaking part. And I hope I will try to bring many more lessons because अगर आप छोटे छोटे चंक्स में प्रैक्टिस करते हैं और जो भी बोलते हो या जो भी लिखते हो जो भी, तो उसको थोड़ा लाउड करो ताकि आपके मसल्स की प्रैक्टिस हो. That's also very important, right? Now let me read some of the comments here because I was talking constantly. So okay. Sandeep, when I first met you, I was not able to understand anything in English when someone is speaking, but now I am at this level where I can understand you speaking in English. That's good. I am very pleased to hear that I am helping someone somewhere. I don't even see you, right? Yes, I see you online on Zoom sometime, but if you see, I personally don't even know you, but if I'm helping you, I feel good about it. It's only your hard work and huge effort. Oh, man. Thank you, Sandeep. Okay. Circumstances created this situation, man. I don't think it's possible to remove this thinking from our society. But see here, Vishal, I will say that's what it is. And there are, I think this one, Mother Teresa said, or I remember. I didn't remember the exact one. But they say the change starts from home, right? तो अगर हम यही सोचें कि ये हमारी सोसाइटी में जो भी हो रहा है गलत है और ये ऐसे ही होता रहेगा, तो कौन चेंज करेगा? सोसाइटी किसने बनाई है? हमने मिलके बनाई है ना. तो अगर आप अपने को चेंज करो, आपके आसपास जो लोग हैं उनको चेंज करना शुरू करो, वो आगे चेंज करें, तो जरूर कुछ ना कुछ असर होगा विशाल, फर्क पड़ेगा. सो इफ यू चेंज योर एटीट्यूड, अगर आपके सामने कोई इंसान अच्छे से इंग्लिश नहीं बोल सकता तो आप उसको छोटा मत समझो. क्योंकि इंग्लिश आपकी इंटेलिजेंस को असेस नहीं करती. इंग्लिश इज जस्ट अ लैंग्वेज, इट्स अ मोड ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, राइट? इट्स अ टूल ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, यू कैन से. कोई भी लैंग्वेज में आप अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करते हो. सो उसमें हम सबको ये करना चाहिए. अब मैं तो नहीं रहती इंडिया में, बट आप जो भी रहते हो, तो अगर आप उस तरीके से रिस्पेक्ट करो, ये नहीं कि कोई इंग्लिश नहीं बोलता तो उसको ऐसे ही समझो. वो हम सब चेंज कर सकते हैं मिलकर. बिकॉज सी हियर, मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देती हूँ, बड़ी छोटी सी एग्जांपल है. क्योंकि नाउ लाइक व्हेन आई वाज इन इंडिया, आई वाज लाइक many Indians, like the way we are. But when I came here, I adopted so many things in the society, and all good things. And here, people are responsible. Here in America, everyone thinks it's my country. Even if you go outside and if there is any trash, people will pick up the trash. Okay, so that's the way it is. Even in my backyard, I have woods, and when my children were little, they used to go summertime and they used to take the garbage bags and they used to collect all the garbage, right? So यहाँ पे है कि हर कोई सोचता है ये मेरा कंट्री है, मैंने इसको क्लीन रखना है. वो एक जैसे कह लो एक स्पिरिट है हर एक के अंदर. तो वो कल्चर में है स्पिरिट, राइट? तो अब एंड देन I remember once I was in India, and I was with my father and my sister in the tent. Like we went to army canteen or something, and I was just waiting outside. My sister and my dad was inside, and I noticed that वहाँ पे जो कैंट में जो ग्रोसरी लेके आ रहे थे लोग, तो वो कार्ट्स थी जो उनको ऐसे ही दूर दूर खिली हुई लाइक सड़क के ऊपर भी ऐसे ही छोड़ के जा रहे थे. तो मुझे यहाँ वहाँ पे बड़ा अजीब लगा, क्योंकि हम यहाँ पे ऐसे नहीं करते. जो कार्ट होती है ना, जो जिसमें ग्रोसरी आप फिल करते हो, तो वो कार्ट मुझे बड़ा अजीब लगा कि क्या हो रहा है. तो यू विल नॉट बिलीव इट, आई जस्ट गॉट अप फ्रॉम देयर एंड आई स्टार्टेड कलेक्टिंग ऑल द कार्ट्स. एंड वहाँ पे लोग सारे मेरी तरफ देख रहे थे, इसको क्या हो गया. एंड आई वाज लाइक, एंड उनको होगा कि ये तो बड़ी अच्छे खासा ड्रेसअप हुई है और यू नो ये क्या हो रहा है कि ये सारी कार्ड्स इकट्ठी कर रही है. एंड आई डिड इट जस्ट टू शो अदर पीपल दैट हाउ दे नीड टू बिहेव. सो जबकि मैं तो चलो मेरा तो एक आधा इंसिडेंट है, पर मैं करूँगी. अगर मैं कहीं देखूंगी कुछ तो आई विल ट्राई कि मैं इसको करूँ, ताकि दूसरे लोग देखें और उसको करें उसी तरह से. उसको एक अच्छी चीज़ को अगर आपको दिखाना है तो यू हैव टू स्टार्ट इट, राइट? तो नेक्स्ट. Good morning, Jagdish. Okay, English is global language. We should know about English because if you want to get good job, then English will be helpful for you to get job like wherever you want it or whenever, yeah, whatever you want. Yes, see, that's what it is, I will say. So again, I'm saying, if you think that you are not going anywhere, you will be living in this city forever, you're not going out of state, then it's your choice, right? No one is forcing you to learn English. But again, I will say, the more language you know, the more opportunities you will have in your life, right? Okay, hi Technogyan, hi Shivam Pandey, good night, good evening. I can join Zoom app through link after adding, there is no voice coming. Technogyan, I don't know what time you try to log in, because ऐसे नहीं होता. आपको सैटरडे को 7 o'clock हमारा सेशन तकरीबन 2 घंटे होता है ज़्यादातर. मैं देखूं तो 2.25 घंटे, 2 घंटे से कम हमारा सैटरडे का सेशन नहीं होता. तो आप अगर इंडिया के हिसाब से देखो, मैं लिखती हूँ ISD, इंडियन सॉरी IST, इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड टाइम, राइट? तो उसमें आपको इंडिया में जब शाम के 7 बजते हैं, तो आपका जो सेशन है वो मैं यहाँ से स्टार्ट करती हूँ. मेरे तब एक्चुअली सुबह के 9 o'clock, 9 बजे होते हैं मेरे सुबह के अमेरिका के हिसाब से, बट आपके वो 7 o'clock होते हैं. मेरे 9:30 होते हैं, शायद 9:30. सो उस टाइम पे आपको ज्वाइन करना है मेरा सेशन सैटरडे को. Yes, ma'am, I remember about that day when I came to your Zoom live session first time, and I told that I'm scared and sweating. Yes, okay. stitch. Yes, Sina means stitching. Yes, but we say here sewing. वो जो सारा सीना पर होना उसको कहते हैं sewing, right? Sewing is a machine से जैसे sew करते हैं. Stitch, stitching. यहाँ पे अमेरिका में sewing कहते हैं. Okay. I also learn about carpentry. Oh, that's nice. ओके रविंद्र सिंह, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि अगर आप भाषा का ज्ञान, उस भाषा का उपयोग नहीं करोगे तो उससे ज्ञान को ओके ज्ञान लेने का कोई अर्थ नहीं रह जाता. Yes, Ravinder, that's what we are talking about. That if someone is not interested, तो I agree with you, Ravinder. अगर आप उसको यूज नहीं करोगे तो उसका अर्थ नहीं रह जाता. But I will say there is no harm to learn another language because in life you never know where you're gonna end up. Okay? कहीं अगर आपको आज लगता है कि आपके लिए इसकी इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं है, बट हो सकता है कल को आपके बच्चे हों और उनमें से कोई बाहर आ जाए और आप उनके साथ आ जाओ कहीं अब्रॉड में, तो फिर आप क्या करोगे? अब उसका एक मैं आपको किस्सा बताती हूँ कि one day at my institution they called me from the office. And I went to the office and I was like, what happened? And there was one old lady was sitting in the office and she was crying. And they said, do you speak her language? Can you talk to her? And I was like, I started asking her. So I started talking to her in Hindi, right? और मैं क्या बात करती, because she looked like a Asian woman, like a, but she was Arabic. शायद वो अफगानिस्तान से थी या किसी और कंट्री से, तो वो लैंग्वेज कुछ और बोल रही थी और मुझे उनकी लैंग्वेज समझ नहीं आई. मैंने कहा नहीं, आई डोंट स्पीक दिस लैंग्वेज, राइट. अब पर्शियन, अफगानिस्तान में जो उनकी धारी लैंग्वेज भी कहते हैं, उसको धारी बोलते हैं, तो वो धारी मुझे तो नहीं आती थी. तो आई सेड नो, शी डजंट अंडरस्टैंड. बिकॉज अगर आप पाकिस्तान से हो तो आप हिंदी और उर्दू का काफ़ी क्लोज हो, आप तो समझ जाते हो. तो आई वाज लाइक, एंड वो लेडी क्या था कि वो किसी की पेरेंट थे, कोई ओल्ड लेडी थी, वो मदर थी किसी की या कुछ जो भी था. तो वो घर से शायद वॉक करने के लिए निकली होगी, तो रास्ता भूल गई, राइट. तो शी डिडंट नो हाउ टू गो बैक टू हर होम. उसको शायद घर का नंबर भी नहीं पता था कैसे. तो वो रो रही थी और रोते रोते वो इंस्टीट्यूशन के अंदर आ गई कि यहाँ पे मेरी कोई हेल्प कर दे, मैं कैसे कहाँ जाऊँ, अब मुझे नहीं पता. तो आई मीन शी वाज जस्ट क्राइंग, और वो अपनी लैंग्वेज में बोल रही थी जो कि उसकी लैंग्वेज किसी को समझ नहीं आ रही. देन माय इंस्टीट्यूशन दे कॉल द पुलिस राइट अवे कि पुलिस आके इसकी कोई हेल्प करे, देखें क्या है कुछ, जैसे भी. देन पुलिस, जब तक वो पुलिस आई, फिर उसको लेके बाहर गए. अभी सड़क पे अभी निकले ही थे, तो उसकी जो उसके बच्चे थे, तो लाइक बेटा था उनका और उनकी शायद डॉटर इन लॉ थी, तो दे वर लुकिंग फॉर हर कि वो कहाँ चले गई, क्योंकि वो घर नहीं आई होंगी काफ़ी देर, तो वो भी ढूंढ रहे थे उनको. तो व्हेन शी सॉ देम, शी वाज लाइक, शी जस्ट रैन टू देम एंड शी हग्ड देम एंड शी वाज क्राइंग. एंड उसकी इतनी बुरी हालत थी. तो व्हाई? बिकॉज शी डिडंट नो हाउ टू स्पीक, लाइक इंग्लिश नहीं आती थी, तो वो किसी के साथ कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर पा रही थी. बट शी वाज इन अ फॉरेन लैंड. अब अमेरिका में हो, आपको इंग्लिश नहीं आती, तो आप गुम गए हो, तो क्या करोगे? सो यू नेवर नो. अब उस लेडी ने कभी सोचा होगा कि उसकी लाइफ में ऐसा हो सकता है कभी. So that's why if you know another language, that's your strength. That's what I will say, Ravinder. But if you want to learn English, it's your choice. If you do not want to learn English, it's your personal choice. That's what I will say. Ashok Padvi, many times you invited me, but I can't participate in the online session because now I live in rural areas. There are many problems. I have sometimes poor connectivity or electricity. That's okay. Ashok, whenever you will be in any place where you will have a good connection, you are always welcome, because it's my free session every Saturday, and I will try my best to do it as long as I can, right? Okay. So I hope we should end this lesson today. It was not a lesson, but it's. I miss your comment. Really, Sandeep? I was. What was your comment? I can open it right now, and I can see your comment. But I just picked up like a 3-4 comments where I saw that. I mean, so the one was about why we have to learn English language, right? Uh, so I know it's. I'm not saying English is very important right now, like in India only, but I will say worldwide, worldwide, in every country, people are learning English because English is international language, right? So if you are in India and if you know Hindi, uh, then you might gonna find someone in any other state who will be able to speak Hindi. I don't know. You know what? Let me tell you another experience. When I was in school, we had a national sports meet, and that was in Calicut in Kerala. And we really had a very hard time there because of the language problem. Because in Kerala, uh, if we were trying to speak in Hindi, they didn't understand. No one was speaking Hindi over there, right? And English, yes, we when we were communicating with them, mostly in English, because pretty much people over there were able to understand. I'm not saying they were fluent in English, but some English, where we were able to at least communicate to met our needs. अगर हम कहीं स्टोर पे जा रहे हैं कुछ चाहिए तो अगर वो नारियल बोलेंगे तो they will not understand, but when we said coconut for example they understand. अगर हम अचार बोलते तो उनको समझ नहीं आ रही थी, हम pickle बोला तो उनको थोड़ी समझ आ गई. So that's what I'm saying. Forget about going to another country. Forget about that. I'm just talking about in India. If you go to South, many of them, they don't speak Hindi. They know English, but they don't know Hindi. Okay. And even I told you in my session also, in America, in my previous neighborhood, मेरे जो पड़ोसी थे जहाँ मैं दूसरे पहले वहाँ रहती थी, तो वो मेरे neighbors थे जो वो हैदराबाद से थे. And I had one day I was talking about Hindi movies, and she told me, it was like, we don't watch Hindi movies. It's like, I was shocked. I was like, you don't watch Hindi movies? She said, no, we don't. They watch their own movies. उनकी जो state की movies हैं, right? तो South की जो movies हैं, they used to watch South Indian movies. They were not watching Hindi movies. So आप तो India में ही देख लो, it's very different. तो foreign की तो forget about foreign country जाना. India में ही if you are going to another state, especially South में तो you might be able to communicate with them in English, but in Hindi, I maybe in these days they know, but I'm talking about more than 30 years ago when we were there, people didn't speak Hindi at all. They didn't know Hindi. So what you will say about them, Ravinder Singh? Hello, Amarjeet. Okay, guys. So I will say I'm going to end this session, and I hope we learned a lot, or we just had a good discussion, and have a wonderful time and stay blessed.